It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. We are live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State. Also live on Facebook and YouTube, having the crucial conversations that Erie needs. And I'm excited to have with us here Dr. Roche Vermaak. He is the new Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity. We've been wanting to have this conversation for a while. So we welcome, Doctor. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. When you reached out 5 months ago and you said it's an hour show, I'm like, there's no way I can tell you something an hour's worth. Now 5 months in, yes, I can.
Yeah, you've got more stories to tell, and we want to hear them. So let's get started. We're a family show. We like to hear origin stories. Tell us how you came up and what kind of was your journey to becoming this executive director here.
So I was born in South Africa. I have a tiny little accent. Was a Presbyterian pastor for 24 years.
Oh, wow.
The last 7 years, I was the executive director of a homeless agency in Los Angeles, and then moved here in May of 2022, commuted back and forth to Los Angeles for my work because my wife is here. And this position opened with Habitat, and I have a 23-year history since I came to the U.S. in 2001 with Habitat. I served on 2 Habitat boards as the Faith Relations Connection, led 15 Habitat builds in Los Angeles, both
Wow.
new builds and renovations. I counted up, I think, 118 people that I took on the builds. We would descend on an entire build for the day, and I've done everything. Siding, roofing, nailing, cutting.
Was that always kind of in your wheelhouse to do this kind of this kind of construction labor like that?
No.
Okay.
I love getting out from behind my computer and going to do manual labor. And the one Sunday morning, I was so stiff, my hamstrings, I couldn't walk. Like, oh, dude, you did tiling in the bathroom the entire previous day. Mm-hmm. And another time I was doing a rehab in Long Beach, and I sat on one of my butt cheeks the entire day doing nailing,
Wow.
the roof shingles.
Yes.
And, there's nothing better than doing something and feeling tired the next day. But when you drive past the house, you can say, I did it. I worked on that house. I made a difference.
We want to talk about this model of, sweat equity and its volunteerism and what have you. But can you share a little bit of the scope of the national and international Habitat for Humanity? Of course, the founder or the great inspiration, President Carter, just passed away.
Well, he wasn't the founder.
He wasn't I figured he was. He kind of jumped in there.
He joined
in, 1980 or something like that.
Yeah, he joined 7 years after it was founded, and basically between him and Rosalind became the spokespeople when you have a former president leaving the White House, doing a build in New York, and then after that, the Jimmy Carter and Rosalind Carter Foundation was launched, and they started to do their builds, and it became so huge where people come together for 2-3 weeks to build houses. And so President Carter and Rosalind Carter put Habitat on the map and created awareness that we are the wealthiest country in the world, and yet we have a massive housing crisis of families who cannot afford decent housing, and it's across all 50 states. Habitat is in more than 70 countries, and with their inspiration, when he joined in 84, Habitat in Erie was launched in 1989. The first house was built in 1991, and since then we have built 77 brand new houses. We are building house 78, and I'll tell you more about it in a second.
Yeah.
And we have also done critical home repairs to 12 houses.
What does that entail?
So critical house repair is a family would come and say, we need repairs. We needed work done on the attic or the roof or the siding or the kitchen. The challenge, Joe, is at this point, Erie is an old town. Mm-hmm. By the time a family comes to us and says, we need critical home repair, the house basically needs to be scrapped and demolished. And that's why we haven't done critical home repair in a while. Plus, on top of that, the material to do critical home repair, because of COVID and the supply chain, has gone through the roof. Yeah. It's much more expensive now to do a critical repair. It is actually for us more beneficial to do an entire new build.
Yeah, and I want to go through that process here. So you're saying that this is in 70 countries across all 50 states, and it's all after the same problem that affordable housing is just not, not always available. But
and it's all the same clientele. So the sweet spot, we cannot help every person in the world. No organization can.
Sure.
So the sweet spot for Habitat is a family who is above homeless and is low income, but below low moderate income. They might have a not too good credit score, not have enough finances, have a little bit of debt, student debt, etc.
Yeah.
But when they go to a federal credit union or to a bank or to a mortgage lender, they will get denied. And they can simply not afford to buy a house. And even, Joel, if they were approved to buy a house, let's say $100,000 house, with their credit history and what they earn, the agency will say, well, we need a 20% down.
Sure.
Give us $20,000 cash and we can give you a mortgage. None of our families have that. And so that's the sweet spot for us as families who are willing to work towards home ownership over a 25-year period. And the biggest benefit that Habitat can give them, zero interest. Not a single cent of interest over the entire 25 or 30-year life of their loan.
That's amazing.
So a $100,000 house will stay $100,000 for the entire duration.
Talk about how Habitat started here in Erie, as far as you understand the story, and what has it brought to this point? Because it's one of those sometimes you don't hear about Habitat too much. Yeah. I've actually had this conversation with your predecessors, like we need to wave the flag a little bit more.
Well kept secret.
Yes,
so, 1989, a pastor started it, board was founded. Fundraising done, 1991, first house built, and we've basically averaged 1 to 2 houses a year. COVID impacted it significantly because of social distancing. You couldn't have volunteers on the side, and even if you had, they had to be separate and segregated from one another. Joel, the biggest thing that people don't realize is when we say that bacon and eggs and food is through the roof, we all know that building supplies are through the roof. Yeah. To give you an example, a 3-bedroom house in 2019 cost us $70,000 to build. That same exact house that I'm going to build in April is going to cost me between $125 and $140.
Oh my!
The reasons for that is material has gone up: wood, doors, siding, windows, cement, block work. The electrician has gone up, the plumbing has gone up, the roofing has gone up.
So you do pay the trades,
yes,
the actual professionals that do the
trades.
So
we have a construction manager who has 50 years of experience. He's been with Habitat 18 years, and so he oversees the construction and leads the volunteers. And the volunteers help us bring the overall price of the house down to an affordable level.
But yeah, I mean, if we were to talk about somebody building me a house for that 140, it would be easily double, if not more.
Yes, because of labor cost.
Right.
And so that house that cost us $125,000 or $140,000, that's not what we sell the house to the family. We sell the house to a family at the appraisal value.
Oh, you do? Okay.
And so we sell it at a much lower value. And so in Erie, in our footprint where we are right now, a 3-bedroom house will sell for $97,000 to $100,000. So we lose on every single house we build about $25,000 to $30,000.
So please help me understand that math again. Why is it appraising lower than what it costs to build?
Because I can go build a $500,000 house in a neighborhood and it will only appraise at $100,000.
Because of where these neighborhoods are
because of where the neighborhood is.
But you guys are anchors, right? I mean, you tend to build in land that you own, which is contiguous.
And we build blocks. We've built entire
whole blocks.
Streets.
Yeah.
We just built a house on Pear Street. We finished in June. The house cost us just over $200,000 to build. The appraised value was $178,000, so we lose $22,000 on it. Plus, because it's a higher mortgage, it's a family of 9, their mortgage is not 25 years, but 30 years.
Sure.
And we all know after COVID, inflation in America is real. So our dollars, as they repay us $505 every month over 30 years, that $505 in 15, 20, 25, 30 years will be way less than it is today. So out of a $200,000, realistically, we might recoup $100,000 in the end.
That's really something else to think that it's also custom. I want to hear these stories, but family of 9 can't just do 3 bedrooms. Well, how many bedrooms are in that?
So they were a 6-bedroom, 7 children, 6 bedrooms. We had to do a much bigger house. And here's how we helped them. And one of the unique things about our county is the LIRTA exemption on property taxes, which is I'm so appreciative of our city, of our county, of what our mayor and the execs have done and extending LIRTA. There's many misnomers. LIRTA helps rich people by doing build-ons and then they get an exemption.
Right.
Okay, that might be the exception. Every LIRTA helps every Habitat family. Because for the first 10 years, they pay the value of the property taxes for just the property, not the build.
Yes.
So when the LIRTA expires, what we do is we build not a basement. A basement is too expensive.
Okay.
So we build into a half basement. We will build 1 or 2 bedrooms and then with egress windows so that when LIRTA expires, the family's taxes are not as high and that they can continue to afford it. Because you can imagine, you're paying now $505 a month on your mortgage. LIRTA expires and your house will be worth, say, $200,000 when LIRTA expires in 10 years. And they're stuck with a $4,500 property bill.
Yeah.
Suddenly they have to come up with money that they never paid in 10 years.
Wow.
And so we try to ease the burden on the families and build towards that when LIRTA expires, they are ready for it. But we also help them by doing some subterranean building because a basement doesn't count as part of your house's footprint.
I see. So again, the beauty of this organization is it understands all of the codes. It understands all of the ways to save money. And then, of course, you're bringing in all this volunteer labor, which really brings the price point
And we're going to
down.
get to volunteers. So when you talk about Habitat, what people see, Joel, they see the tip of the iceberg. Habitat builds houses.
Yeah, I just picture people that are on roofs pounding in shingles, right?
That's true. What you don't see under the waterline is the following. To get a family ready, we have to have meetings. We go out to the community. We get a ton of people applying from various organizations. We contact the churches, we contact the nonprofits, we contact St. Martha's Center, the refugees, so many people that have been resettled, etc. And we have eligibility criteria. They have to earn a certain amount between the minimum and the maximum that they can make their mortgage. If people earn too low, there's no way they can continue to pay off their mortgage over 25 years. Once we have screened the families, once they've been vetted by the board, then they start on what you call their sweat equity or their partnership hours. And the model is that we want to have people invested in their house, but also to learn skills because they've always been renters. Once they become the homeowner, there's no landlord. You cannot just phone and say, hey, the toilet's broken, there's a leak, the door doesn't work, the window doesn't shut, there's a valve problem. You are the homeowner, you have to fix it now. So in building the house, in that process, they learn basic skills of taking care of their own house when it's theirs. The sweat equity works this way. A family has to do 300 hours.
Okay.
Of that, they have to do half. Their friends, their family, people from church or synagogue or the mosque or the temple or school or neighbors can do the other half. And so together, 300 hours combined to be able to be a Habitat homeowner. In that process, which can be anywhere from a few months to a year and a half, 2 years, depending on how long it takes to build a house, they learn some skills. So they have a budget coach. We have at this point 4 coaches from Gannon. And those coaches meet with the families. They go through their credit history. Is there anything you need to pay off? Is there debt you need to clear? Is there debt you can negotiate? We deal with the student debt. Is there anything that shows on your credit history that you weren't aware of?
Right.
Query it. is their medical debt, because Congress has now said no medical debt on your credit history, and yet it still shows up for a lot of families. So we help them clear debt, improve their credit history, but the most important, we help them save. For many families, it's the first time in their life they actually have a budget. So whether they keep a piece of paper or on their phone or a Google Sheet on their phone, they now start to track. And we know, the Bible talks about the little jackals coming into the vineyard eating the grapes. Fast food. Oh. When you have a family and you have kids and everybody is like busy,
right.
The easiest way to blow money when you pay cash is fast food. So we help families to actually say, how much do you spend on food? How much do you spend on gas? How much do you spend on your car, the gas for the car, your insurance? How much are you saving towards paying off debt, and how much are you saving towards home ownership? Because when you're going to have a house, it's a brand new house, and we have a warranty for a year. We'll fix anything. But there are unexpected things. The water goes up more than you expect, or the garbage goes up, or the electricity goes up in summer, or your gas bill goes up.
Yeah.
Most of these families are used to paying gas and electricity where it's in an apartment that is not well insulated. So actually with a well insulated house, the electricity and the gas bill goes down.
That's so interesting.
And so we help them save. We work with a lot of clients that are from the housing authority. And it's great to work with them because they actually open an escrow account for their clients. So besides paying the rent, their clients every month are motivated to have an escrow account and put money into that towards home ownership. The Sisters of St. Joseph do exactly the same. They rent out to families and they say to them, well, we'll open an escrow account, save. You want to ultimately be a homeowner, you need to put money into your escrow account. And so when we do closing, families can pay off some of the closing costs, but more important, they have backup money for in case something breaks or their car breaks and they have to replace it.
100%.
And so what's under the surface? Financial budgeting, very important. And it's not just once off. We continue to budget with families as they go on this journey.
You're a partner with them. Hold that thought. We're going to go to our first break here. We're learning more about Habitat for Humanity and their impact here in Erie County and this region. Stay with us. It's Talk Erie. Talk Erie and the Joel and Natalie Show. We're talking to Dr. Roche Vermaak. He is the executive director of Habitat for Humanity here in Erie. And you were telling the stories here of how under the hood, if you will, you're really helping families kind of right the ship of state, if you will, so that they can get into this home and it'll be a sustainable situation. But let's just be clear. These homes here in Erie are brand new. I mean, they're all up to code. And, it's got to be super exciting, to be able to have a house that fits that family, too. And
so we also have to build what our families can afford. We don't build a garage. We don't build a driveway. That's about $25,000 to $30,000 that a family cannot afford. So we built a decent 3, 4, 5, 6 bedroom house, well insulated, latest equipment and fridge, refrigerator, dishwasher, microwave, cabinets, flooring. Saving on insulation is huge, especially with winter where it's so easy for heat to escape. And we want to make the American dream possible. And that's the dream of home ownership. But second of all, to be able to accrue wealth and pass that wealth on to your children. A family can sell a house at any time, Joel, but here's the statistic. On average, in the USA, a Habitat family does not sell their house.
Is that right?
They stay in their house for the duration of their life.
I would have never known that.
Because they feel a sense of pride that they've built part of their house, they have ownership in it, and this is also one of the benefits of building entire blocks of streets in Erie, entire communities. You can go and people will know it's a Habitat house, Habitat house, Habitat house, and people know one another.
How do you guys acquire that land? Are you looking at sheriff sales and things like that?
We receive land as a donation. We'll buy land. You know, sometimes it's $250 to buy a piece of land. It has to be viable. If the land is too small and we can't fit the footprint of the house on it, otherwise it feels squished and you're next to your neighbors. So, we are selective of the land. We work with the city. I just came from a meeting with the county land bank this morning where they have properties in Albion, Corey, Union City, one in Fairview. We have 2 properties in Northeast that I want to build next year.
Wow.
And so we have about 12 properties on the books. 4 of those we're going to build on this year. So
are most of them, have built-in, but they have built-in utilities right into the ground? Like
some.
You're not.
Some.
Okay.
Some. Some of them, there might not be a water connection, and we'll have to connect the sewage or the water to the street.
Because you can spend a lot of money just on that stuff.
Well, give you an example. If we go out toward Northeast and we get a piece of land there and it doesn't have a sewage tank, one of the guidelines, if we ever get a property like that, wherever it is in the county, it's $20,000 to replace it. So we want to know at least it has a 10-year lifespan so that we don't pass the cost on to a family. Another thing,
you're always thinking ahead, aren't you?
Like Mill Creek.
Yeah.
Families want to live in Mill Creek. It's the dream. You want to go to a good school district, Mill Creek. Okay. Go look on Zillow and go look on Realtor.com. The cheapest piece of land that you can find right now is $15,000. It doesn't include a retention pond, which the city of Mill Creek now requires every new house to have $12,000 to $20,000 for an engineer to install. We can simply not go buy it for $15,000 and spend $20,000 and pass that on to a family. They won't be able to afford it.
Wow. We got to go to the bottom of the hour news break. We're learning more about Habitat for Humanity. This is, what you guys do as a nonprofit organization. There's some significant heavy lifts embedded in this ministry. It really is remarkable to watch. And I do want you to take a moment to talk about the faith-based part of this, because I think that's crucial, especially when we're talking about volunteers and how people can come together as a community to help these folks out and to home ownership. News is next. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. You're tuned to Talk Erie on the Joel Natale Show. And we are talking here in our Kingdom Financial Group studios with Dr. Roche Vermaak. He is the executive director of Habitat for Humanity. Been on the job about 7 months. Is that what you said? Or
it feels like 5 years, but it's 5 months.
5 months. Coming and again, extensive experience at Habitat. Mostly from Los Angeles and now here. Let's talk about the structure here in Erie. You have the builds. You have this whole financial literacy piece. You also have the Restore. Can you talk about kind of all of the sectors, if you will?
Yeah.
Of local Habitat.
Just we are finishing up a build on East Lawn Parkway, and it's done by volunteers. We'll be done at the end of March, and then we are breaking ground on 2 houses that we are going to build with Erie Insurance employees.
Oh, wow.
From April 21 to the end of July, Erie Insurance is celebrating their 100 years anniversary. And so they will have 100 days of community service where they are paying all of their staff 10 hours of going out and serving in the community. We are one of those opportunities.
Yes.
And so we'll have 20 people on the morning, 20 in the afternoon, 5 weeks, house done, turn around, build the next one. Wow. When those 2 are done, we will build the first of 3 with Erie Magnetics. And with Rich Mervyn, the owner of Erie Magnetics. We have a triple lot. We'll build 25, 26, and 27, finish those. Then I will do a community faith build at the end of the year. And this is part of your question. We are not an island. Habitat needs other organizations. We need our city, we need our county, we need our volunteers. We collaborate with so many other nonprofits. We work with ECAT. ECAT has been such a blessing to us. They have their technology program, and of their 31 technology students who are being trained in the trade of building a house, whether it's carpentry, electrician, plumber, roofing, flooring, tiling, cabinets, they come to our work site in the day and they build with us and they see how we build a house and they get used to that process. Wow. Our partnership with BEST, with our West Bay Front, partnership with Renaissance, with Build, with the city, all of those, we share volunteers. They will do advertising for us, send us your volunteers, let them come and experience what it is to build a house. Sometimes they have a house renovation, and then we can send volunteers their way. For us as agencies that address housing, whether in the form of homelessness, renting, or home ownership, we have to collaborate with one another. And our partnership with Erie Insurance is vital to us. Not just of the financial support that Erie Insurance provides, but the labor that they will provide through the employees. So 4 houses being built this year, finishing up 1. And then talking about the Restore. Why the Restore? Instead of throwing away when you renovate your house and that going to the dump, whether it's a toilet or a bathtub or windows or doors or siding or wood or material, bring it to our Restore and we will sell it. You get a tax write-off for it. Mm-hmm. You provide labor for, we have a Restore manager and assistant, so we pay their salaries. You help us pay off our mortgage, plus whatever's left, we invest back into a house. So you are helping families by donating to the Restore. And it's anything to do with the house. Okay. A fridge, a refrigerator, a stove, a microwave, an oven, siding, roofing, windows, doors, cabinets, flooring, anything that has to do with the house. We just don't take upholstered furniture. Okay. There's too many liabilities and legal stuff with that. Sure. And when does somebody get rid of a couch? After it is sat through and it's destined for the dump.
It occurs to me that sometimes, somebody's buying something, they might have a brand new window that they bought and then
it's the wrong size.
Yeah, exactly.
We get that. And this is where Lowe's and Home Depot come in, and Lowe's will come and drop a door off and a client ordered this and it was the wrong door and we can't take it back and they'll donate it to us and we'll sell it. Example, a door, just a door without hinges or a knob. at Home Depot and Lowe's is $79. We sell the door for $15. So if you need to replace a couple of doors, we've got the hinges, the knobs, everything. You can walk out of the restore for $20 with a brand new door and everything to hang the door in your house.
Oh my gosh.
And so who comes? People who don't want to spend what it costs new, despite the fact that we sell new furniture, new material, and a lot of landlords. Because it's the cheapest for them to keep up their properties by shopping at the restore.
I would think too, like plumbing fixtures, like
good
faucets. People are always changing
toilets,
their faucets,
bathroom tubs.
Yeah.
We have all of that. Windows, lights, you name it, fans, ceiling fans. We have a lot of contractors, and that we appreciate, who will come. They will drop off the work that they are doing at a site and bring it to the restore, instead of that just going in a big metal container and being dumped. Wow. If we cannot use something, let's say we picked up a fridge or a stove and it's not working, we'll recycle it through Lincoln Recycling, and we'll get $15, $20 for it, and that helps us pay the bills.
Sure.
We expanded our hours. We are now open on a Friday and a Saturday from 9 to 4. And we have volunteers who cover the front checkout and the cash register in shifts. So if anybody is listening and wants to come and just help at the restore on a Friday or a Saturday, they're welcome. We also receive donations in the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. And all of those donations have to be sorted. They have to be cleaned. Sometimes there's a minor repair that has to be done. And you can imagine when 10, 15 people just drop off everything.
Right.
That's a lot of stuff coming into the receiving bay, has to be sorted, put on the floor. And so if anyone wants to volunteer, 1, 2, 4, 5 hours, just come to the restore and we will put you to work, and you will make a difference by putting those products back into the community.
So jumping in on a build, let's say you're talking about that faith build at the end of the year. What kind of skill set do I need to have? And is it better to do this as a group? Is it better to do this as my Sunday school or my small group or my bowling league vis-a-vis just me as an individual?
We take both.
Okay.
I think you need at least one hand because you're going to hammer and do something.
Yeah.
You don't need any skills. We will teach you how to use a hammer, how to use a nail gun, how to use power tools.
And what kinds of things do you allow the volunteers to do? Because again, you are bringing the trades in to do the stuff that has to pass.
So we bring in the trades for the cement work and the block work, the foundation, for the plumbing and the electricity. The rest,
everything else,
we do. We do all the woodwork, the studs, the roof, the beams, the inside, the flooring, the putting the cabinets in, putting the drywall in, putting the ceiling, cutting all the outlets, painting. Everything is done by volunteers.
Are you a good mudder? I mean, how are you on seams?
No, I'm not that. I haven't mudded. I'm good at nailing.
You're a nailer. Okay.
I'm a nailer, but I need a nail gun. I'm going to buy myself one.
I would be terrible as a mudder. You know what I mean? You're going to get your own nail gun.
I'm going to buy my own nail gun.
Yeah.
The last time I volunteered, they gave all the Mercier students the nail guns, and here's the 57-year-old, and he has to pound nails.
He's pounding the nails.
I'm buying myself a nail gun. So, yeah, you can sign up. We take sign-ups in the morning from 8 to 12. There's a lunch break, and then 12:30 to 4:15. So we have 2 sessions a day.
So you just show up? I mean,
we have a sign-up form. We have a sign-up form because you need to sign a waiver.
Yeah.
But we build Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 5 days a week we build. And you can come as a group. You can come as a single. You can sign up multiple times to come and build. You just need to be 16 years and older.
Okay.
And even if you're 16, 17, 18, you don't need your parents to be there. You just need them to sign off on your waiver.
How is it like to build in this kind of weather?
That's a great question. So we broke ground October 8th. We got the outside done, the roof up, the entire house sealed by the time Thanksgiving came around.
The big storm.
So what we then do is we have propane tanks and a big blower because we didn't have electricity on the site yet, and we don't want our volunteers to freeze.
Yeah.
And so we have propane blower inside the house to keep people warm while they're building right throughout the winter.
Wow.
So we'll be done at the end of March. We'll have an event. The family will receive their keys. It's a family of 8. They have 6 children, 5-bedroom house, and they will move from their apartment into a brand new house.
That's remarkable.
And then we turn around, first day of April, we break ground on 2 houses. We put the bricks, the blocks in, and then we'll have a huge groundbreaking event with Erie Insurance on April the 21st on a Monday.
Wow. Okay. So really, those strategic partnerships have been a difference maker. It sounds
Erie
like.
Insurance has done 7 houses with us. A few of them were Erie Insurance employees.
Wow.
That were the ultimate homeowners.
Mm-hmm.
And so this will be house 8 and 9 with Erie
Oh,
Insurance.
actual employees
Yes,
got
of Erie
the
Insurance.
house.
Yes, of Erie Insurance.
Holy moly. Yeah.
And you know, Joe, that's one of the things we coach our families.
Sure.
Because when you show up, everybody knows, oh, these are the people that are building the house. They want to talk to them. We coach them to do when the news media arrives,
Sure.
you know, what to say. But also, everybody wants to get to know you. Everybody wants to know your story. They're excited for you. And I think that's also where relationships happen. Mm-hmm. Not only do you have your financial coach, you also have a partner that journeys with you even after your house is closed. Because we follow up with the families. We want to see that they're doing well and that they're thriving and that their kids are doing well.
It is, do you find that, kind of controversial question, but do you find that for what people are paying for rent these days, that their actual housing monthly bill goes down?
Yes, without a doubt. If you said 5-6 years ago that a house in Erie is going to cost more than $100,000 in certain neighborhoods when they were selling for $35,000 to $65,000, those houses no longer cost that. Housing market in Erie has gone up. There's so many blighted properties and not enough rental properties for families. An example, the family that we're building for right now, there are 8 people. They are paying $1,500 a month for their apartment. They're going to go to a 6-bedroom house where their mortgage will be $500 a month instead of $1,500. And you know what, Joe? It's theirs.
Yeah.
It's their house.
And they will be able to actualize that difference in savings, in being prepared for, something breaking, and for, when the taxes finally kick in.
And here's the kicker. It's brand new.
Yeah.
The apartment they're renting is not brand new.
I'm sure.
The apartments that our families rent usually leak like a sieve. Mm-hmm. All the air is escaping. The windows don't work. There's always a plumbing issue. There's mold. You name it. They move into a brand new house where it's well insulated. And on top of saving rent, they'll save on utilities because of the insulation that we do.
Is there a model that may not necessarily be volunteer labor, but is there a model that could allow more people to the dirty word is gentrifying, right? I mean, but to be able to reclaim some of these neighborhoods that are full of blight, is there a model out there that we could start rebuilding some of these blighted areas into these homes on a market basis so that we're not paying?
I think this is where we need to give kudos to agencies like Best and our West Bayfront and Eastside Renaissance and Build with Daria Devlin and Kim Thomas from Infinite Erie.
Yes, sir.
I mean, Kim has an amazing vision for raising $1 billion to put into Erie to build 150 houses. And if Habitat is just a small player in that and we can build 5 or 10 houses with Infinite Erie, we are on board. I think the money that Tom Hagen, that Erie Insurance, our city, our governor is putting into Erie, getting rid of blighted properties, like with Groundwork USA. Mm-hmm. First of all, get rid of them. Get rid of all the toxins, the asbestos, the lead, etc. Clean it out, make it a community garden. We can always go build on a community garden.
Sure.
The Sisters of St. Joseph is such a great example where they've taken blighted properties and turned it into a community garden with the view of we can always go build a house there. But a garden is so much more beautiful than a dilapidated building.
Right.
And there's potential there to one day, when the right opportunity arises, let's build a house. Let's build a future for a family. And so I think one is get rid of blighted properties, turn it into something now, even if you just put boxes up and people plant flowers or vegetables for the summertime. And ultimately, let's look at building on those properties and build Erie up. We do this in collaboration with our city, with the mayor, with other organizations. And as I say, most of the houses in Erie are 100 years old.
Right.
They start to fall apart. They're not worth fixing up sometimes. And sometimes, Joel, it's just better building up from the ground up.
Yeah, I feel like the way that you guys are doing it, because you've been buying these contiguous properties, is you're building critical mass. And so what was a blighted neighborhood is now, full of new houses. It
creates stability because
and it brings stability.
The family stays in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
The value of all the properties in the neighborhood go up because there's new housing on the block. And so if someone else were to upgrade the house to keep up with the Joneses, that is great.
Right.
Because a new house is appearing and a new house is appearing and another new house. Well, my house is not going to sell if I don't upgrade my own house.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. We're going to leave it there. Dr. Roche, Vermaak, the executive director of Habitat for Humanity. If folks want to learn more, what's the website? What's the phone number?
Very easy. habitaterie.org. Our phone number is there. All our email contact, the information for the restore, how to volunteer, our golf tournament that's coming up in June. All of the information, habitaterie.org.
Thanks for coming out. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe, for having us. And we appreciate the work that you do, making the community aware of affordable and decent housing.
That's what we need. It is 4:52. It's Talk Erie. Getting some really cool response to our conversation with Dr. Vermaak from Habitat for Humanity. Shani, someone's saying, hearing this is beautiful. I'm amazed at everything I've heard today. So that is absolutely true. They certainly, It's really a organization of hope, and the thought that just jazzes me, the thought of the idea that someone can get out from under a $1,500 a month rent and be able to start acquiring, savings and personal wealth. I mean, so that they could have a sustainable life. I think about all the different efforts around our community, from the United Way to, like as he mentioned, Build, and the Hammond Health Foundation, and what Captain Hagen's doing, with 6th Street and so on. The idea of revitalizing not only our downtown, not only our central business core, but revitalizing our neighborhoods. Again, our West Bayfront, Best, Sisters of St. Joseph. We can just go on and on and on. The great work that the Academy neighborhood folks do, and just having some community cohesiveness. It's so important, and so it's great to meet him. And boy, he knows his stuff, and I'm just excited to hear about these families that are getting such a new start, and the kids are growing up here, and we're talking about brain drain, or having a place for our kids to live. I mean, it's gonna all go in the right trajectory. It's gonna all go to a positive trajectory. So I'm really, really excited. Let me give you that website again.